of the same people towards the candidacy of Bernie Sanders, even though such bias and prejudice had been alleged by Sanders and denied by the Democratic National Committee. It even resulted in the resignation of the chair of the committee as a result of a unanimous request from the members of the committee and the intervention of President Obama himself. But in order to get this issue off the front page, the DNC and the Clinton campaign decided to blame, of all people, the Russians. They accused Vladimir Putin of being in cahoots with Donald Trump and having his intelligence services hack the DNC to expose emails to make Mrs. Clinton look bad and thereby benefit Donald Trump. But the Russians had nothing to do with it, because this week, a 30-year veteran of the National Security Administration, the NSA, the domestic spies who spy on all of us all the time, the former high-ranking NSA official who developed the software that the NSA now uses, which allows it to capture not just metadata but content of every telephone call, text message, email in the United States of every person in the United States of America. This individual said, guess what? The NSA hacked the Democratic National Committee. Why would the NSA hack the DNC? Because the members of the intelligence community simply do not want Hillary Clinton to be president of the United States, because she doesn't know how to handle state secrets, because some of the state secrets that she revealed use the proper true names of American intelligence agents operating undercover in the Middle East. When they lost their covers, they ran for their lives, and some of them didn't run fast enough and lost their lives. It's very telling that the intelligence community would feel so strongly about Mrs. Clinton that they would attempt to sabotage her campaign to prevent her from becoming their boss. It's also telling that these folks would break American law in order to, in their view, save it. Welcome to my chambers.
All right, so there you go.
Fight the good fight.
I trust his advice and knowledge compared to anyone else on Fox. I really do. I love Judge Napolitano, and I'd love to see him take Antonin Scalia's spot on the Supreme Court.
Good.
You know what I mean? He'd be a good guy for
Attorney
that.
General.
But let's take care of a little business. I forgot to do it at the bottom of the hour. Cheryl Stockwell Academy in Brighton. If you're looking for a school choice option in Brighton, Cheryl Stockwell Academy, 810-632-2200. For a choice of innovation and character in schooling, this is the place to go. They've been there. They're celebrating 20 years. It's one of the oldest public academies in Michigan. So check them out, 810-632-2200. If you're looking to maybe in January get your kid out of a public school and into a private academy like that, check them out. Cheryl Stockwell Academy, 810-632-2200, celebrating 20 years. Let's take a call from Walter on line one. Walter, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you, man. Hey, sounds like I recognize another voice in that studio with you.
That's your buddy Ed.
Hey, Walter.
Hey, my man Ed, I tell you what, man, you sound like a natural on the radio.
When he calls into as many shows as Ed does, yes, he might as well be, right? He's been calling you. You're no different, Walter. You guys always call into all these shows.
Oh, yeah, man, we the future talk show hosts, man. Pretty soon. Our day's coming. I tell you what, aren't you guys at this point tired of hearing about Hillary, the silly Hillary, the Killery?
In 2 weeks, hopefully, we won't hear from her any longer, Walter. That's my hope.
No, just at the hearings.
That's a good one.
Where her defense will be at this point. What does it really matter?
They need to join the Bushes. Well, yeah, that's right. I said the Bushes. Get out of the Bushes. You remember that, Jesse Jackson?
Yep.
They need those big backstabbing crooks, along with Lindsey Graham, John McCain. He ain't no hero. I say that from day number one. Oh, I can hear you listeners shouting me down by now on that one. But anyway, and all the rest of them that joined in the rebellion against Donald Trump, they ain't got sense enough to pour dog urine out of a boot, even if I gave them an instruction manual. That's how silly they are. Because this man, especially in the last debate, all of them claim to be, a lot of them claim to be, we the Republicans, we the conservatives, we believe in pro-life, no pro-choice. The man just showed that he was pro-life. That great answer he gave.
Yes.
He condemned partial birth abortion. If you ain't, these people that's against Trump, if they're not convinced by now, including the Supreme Court people that he's selecting himself, and then relating to the Christians. You can't get no better people to surround him than the national household names he has picked on his pastor's advisory board or whatever.
Yep.
Names that we respect, and I think they include different races.
Yeah, absolutely.
On that loaded. Go ahead.
Yeah, with throughout this nasty sex tapes and everything else that they keep talking about, the evangelicals, most of them, have all hung in there, and the few that did walk away, some of them are coming back now.
Jeffers, Franklin Graham. I mean, I'm not looking for, and I'll speak up for Mike from Ann Arbor. I'm not looking for pastor in chief. I am an evangelical Christian, and I vote my conscience. But I'm not looking for a pastor in chief. But I'm looking for somebody who will support my rights to practice my religion without having ungodly practices forced down my throat.
Right.
That's powerful, Ed. That is so powerful. You guys couldn't have said it no better. I tell you, that is so true. We're not voting in the pastor, but we're voting in if he gets in there, we're voting for a person who's going to reinforce pastors, who's going to reinforce U.S. Constitution, who's going to reinforce our faith, who's going to reinforce all those things and above across the board. Guns, go after the hell raisers, the people on the station, that one local station that, by the way, let me say something about that local station. I've been attacking those people left and right. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Dave Rohn told me to give him his name, and it's his. He said some of them can call him. I know he'd tear him up. But anyway, and as well as you guys, those people on that station are some of the most black racist people I've ever seen in the United States. Detroit, black, they are twice dead and plucked up battle root. No hope. I'm talking about pastors that's on this cat talk shows. I called one this morning. I said, I just heard him before I got on there, and he let me speak my mind. I said, you know what? In your little dialogue this morning, when you first opened up, I noticed that you were talking about take your souls to the polls and take the souls to the polls from Detroit to vote for Hillary. I said, don't you know Hillary is against your faith? I said, just abortion alone, murdering babies, homosexuality, and you're endorsing people, you're going to drive them to the polls to vote for the Democrats?
Yeah, it's crazy. 50 years the Democrats have been in control in Detroit. If things were going to get better, they would have gotten better already. Because as Ed and I talked earlier, we've spent another $10 trillion in the last 7.5 years. If things were going to get better under a Democratic plan, they would have gotten better. But they haven't.
Yep.
And you know what? They keep blaming Snyder. They talk about the same stuff every day. Every talk show host on there, they talk about the same stuff, including their callers. Their callers are full of hate.
Yeah. Well, stop listening to them, Walter.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Stop listening to them. What else you got? I've got another call I got to take here.
I want to say this. Do you know? And I even got to a place where I tell them before it even happens. I say, you know what? When I get off this phone, your line's gonna light up. And guess what? It comes to pass every time. When I say something real straightforward, real hard, and I talk about Osama Obama and his wife, from her speeches from hell that she's been giving lately.
Yep.
About racist stuff. Do you know, when I get off that phone, most of the callers spend most of the calls they get, they spend the rest of the show lambasting me and criticizing me. And by the way, I didn't call in yesterday or the day before. I just happened to turn on the radio at any given time, and do you know I heard my name on there, one person after another, like trying to...
So, Walter...
That's what I've been saying.
You're famous, Walter.
When are you going to get a show on that station,
That's right.
Walter?
You might be the token Republican down there, Walter. There you go. All right, thanks for the call, man.
By the way, they had one between 12 and 2. They kicked them off.
Oh, great. Yeah, it was probably Wayne Bradley. All right, well, thanks, Walter. Appreciate the call.
See you guys.
Take care. All right, line 2, we've got candidate for the 12th Congressional District, Jeff Jones. Jeff, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
Hey,
Great to be here.
Jeff, before I let you say anything else, are you from Riverview by chance?
I am not. I get there's a 3 or 4 of us.
Okay,
Jeff Jones is in the 12th district, but I know that Jeff Jones.
Oh, do you?
He wears my T-shirts and comes to all my events. So
good.
We have kind of fun together. We're friends on Facebook.
Yeah, I went to school with him.
That's a coincidence. One of my neighbors is named Jones. You know, what's the odds?
Yeah. What's the possibility of running into another Jones? Yeah.
Right. So Jeff, you're running against Dingell, right?
Yes.
And you're it's an uphill battle, I know, for you down there. The Dingles are so entrenched. I don't know why people in Downriver continually go for the Dingle name. It's incredible.
Joe was saying earlier that he's not seeing a lot of Dingle signs.
Well, it's pretty interesting. I'm getting no resistance, 99% acceptance rate on people's front porches and businesses. I get the same thing over and over again. And this was my pitch that I started with. I say, ask yourself 4 questions. If you review the last 50 years of the 12th district, ask yourself this. Do you think that job opportunities are better than they've ever been or not? Do you think that your union is stronger than it's ever been or not? Do you think education is producing more productive students or not? And do you think your communities and municipalities are empowered, or do you think they're struggling? And everybody answers the same way. I said, well, maybe you ought to change the way you vote because, 82 years is enough.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, Jeff, I grew up downriver, right? Born in Southgate and grew up in Riverview, graduated from Riverview High School. And I think last time I was downriver was like last summer. I went down for a funeral for a friend down there. And Taylor's always been kind of sketchy anyway, even when I was a young boy. But I drove through Southgate, down 4th Street in Eureka and Riverview, and it looks, empty buildings, empty shop fronts. I was amazed. I'm like, oh my God, Downriver has been left out of. If there is a recovery, Downriver didn't get it.
Yeah. Yeah. I made several commercials. One in front of the old Trenton Steel plant, one in front of the Rouge plant, one in front of that big mall that used to be over there at Dixon, Southfield. The Sears is the only thing left standing, but it looks like a war zone. And these are the results of John Dingle. When he let Bill Clinton talk him into coming to sell us the lie of NAFTA, telling us that there were some parts that needed to come across the border to keep the auto workers moving from Canada. We said, yeah, let's support that thing. We had no idea that meant 28 new plants opening up in Mexico and pension loss and job loss and selling the 12th district down the tube. And now Debbie Dingle, she says that she's against the TPP, but she's already moved it forward in 3 different bills. So opened up free trade to 14 other countries while she's been there. And I don't even know when she has the time because she's missed 36 sessions of Congress in her first 19 months anyway. So, this is the damage of the Dingles.
Well, I'm pulling for you, dude. It's a brave thing you're doing. I would love to see you win that. I'm assuming you're on the Trump train, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we're face to face. Actually, I just got an email from Washington yesterday from the Contested Elections Committee, anticipating that our race is actually going to be that close. So they gave me all their contact information. We've, I've run the campaign hard, and I know the Dingle names.
Well, do this for me, Jeff.
Debbie's not John, so we're winning that one.
Yeah, look me up on Twitter, look me up on Facebook, and I'll start pushing some of your stuff out for you because I've got a pretty good following on Twitter now, and maybe that'll help. And you are more than welcome, sir, to call into this show next week.
Thank you.
We got 2 weeks. I think give yourself a plug next week. Call in and talk to us because let us know how you're doing. I would love to see you. It seems like it's an uphill battle down there, but maybe you'll pull a Trump off and actually win this one.
We think there's a Trump wave. There's a party that's only running one candidate in the 12th district. They took them 50,000 signatures to get on the ballot, called the Working Class Party. It was birthed in the UAW. We think that they're going to take about 30 to 40,000 votes on the ballot, and so it really levels the playing field. And our logo is #WeBelieve. So if you type that in, kind of pulls it up. But that's what we're believing. That we're believing this is the year to dump the ding.
All right, Jeff, I would be one of your constituents and happy to be so. I'm in Nipsey Township. And I'm wondering where I get a sign.
Wow. We've been putting them out. They're at the Ann Arbor office right now. There's some signs left at the Republican office at 2145, I think, State Street.
State Street. I know where that's at. Yeah, real
good. And so, and as someone being in the ministry for 35 years, I can appreciate your last caller conversation. And most people don't realize that the word ecclesia in Greek actually translates Congress. It translated as church
assembly
in the New Testament, which is okay. It's called out assembly, but the full definition is called out assembly to reestablish God's law. And so that's the direction we're going.
Jeff, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, I actually went to a Jeff Noble thing at Imagine a couple weeks ago, thinking I was talking to you. It was funny, and I was telling him about the Dingles domination and about a documentary I told Gary a couple weeks ago about